It is to laugh, huh, Mr. J? Alright, let's take a look back at what Harley Quinn originally was. Everyone knows that she originally debuted in Batman the Animated Series in the 90s as the Joker's right-hand woman and his girlfriend. And the fans loved that character so much that she became mainstream in DC. Everyone knows that. Some comics even gave her her own storylines. Then she started showing up in video games, and now she's been in a couple of live-action movies. Yeah, she is quite the popular character. She has skyrocketed in multimedia. But you know what? Every now and then, it's nice to take her back to her roots. Back in an animated series. This time with no holds barred, let's talk about some rated R Harley Quinn shit. Harley Quinn, Season 2. Yes, Season 2 of Harley Quinn has wrapped on DC Universe, and it was originally going to be the second half of Season 1 in its entirety of 26 episodes, but it was split in the middle, so now we have 2 seasons, both consisting of 13 episodes. Oh, and I'm gonna give you a spoiler warning. I'm gonna want to talk about this season in its entirety with spoilers, so you have been warned. And there is so much shit that happens this season. Every single episode I felt was important to the plot. There were no filler episodes. There were some filler subplots in there for sure. Some things were like the main characters were doing the main plot. What are these side characters gonna do? I don't know, just give them a B plot that's not gonna matter. That happened a few times throughout the show. But whenever that does happen, rest assured the main characters are doing something pretty important to the plot. I like that though. Not a single episode in this season was wasted. Even that Batman-centric episode that Harley's not even in. I'll get to that. So Season 2 of Harley Quinn starts off where Season 1 left off. Gotham City is just the pits. So now a few of Batman's biggest villains are going to take over Gotham. They've divided up the city into their own territory, and they've labeled the city New Gotham. And these villains, like Penguin, Mr. Freeze, the Riddler, Bane, they don't see Harley Quinn fitting into their plan. So basically Harley Quinn's like, what the fuck? I'm gonna take each of you fuckers out. And so she does in the first few episodes of the season. Each episode is her taking out a different villain. She captures the Riddler in one episode and forces him to run that hamster wheel, and he becomes really swole by the end of the season. She kills the Penguin straight up. But the Mr. Freeze episode, it was the 4th episode of this season. It was surprisingly great. Cause again, like Poison Ivy, Mr. Freeze in this show is one of those villains who doesn't see themselves as a villain. Mr. Freeze is just trying to find a cure for his wife who has a rare blood disease. You know, it's true love and all that, which becomes a big theme this season. And this is the first real example of it. Harley's like, true love is bullshit cause the Joker treated me like crap. She's become hardened, but by the end of the episode where Mr. Freeze gives his life to save his wife, and she's all crying and shit, I was like, oh, I'm feeling this. Dr. Psycho put it perfectly because I was like, I'm feeling feelings. I think first time I watched that episode, I actually teared up a little bit. I don't know why. I just did. Because it was good. We also have some new characters we didn't see in Season 1. They're now in Season 2. Like Catwoman shows up. So Harley and Ivy and Catwoman team up to go do something. And you realize it's the Gotham City Sirens. You know, that movie that I would love to see in the DC Extended Universe. They never call themselves the Gotham City Sirens. They call themselves the Cop Squad for some reason. I don't know. But Catwoman was really cool in this show. In the 3 episodes she was in. Same thing with Batgirl, but I actually really like how they did Batgirl in this show. First of all, she's voiced by Brianna Cuoco, who is Kaylee Cuoco's sister, so that's really cool. But also the fact that Batgirl is a fangirl, because that's how I know Batgirl to be, in whatever media I've seen her in, which is just other animated shit. She's Jim Gordon's daughter, she's in college, so she's really fluent in social media. She's like live tweeting, I don't know what she's tweeting or TikToking or I don't know. But I like it because again, that's how I know Batgirl to be. She's not really relevant in the overall season. Again, she's in just a few episodes and then she's gone. But she was good and I hope to see more of her if they renew the show for a Season 3. But there are 2 big storylines this season. And the first one we see is that Kite Man and Poison Ivy are now engaged, so they're gonna get married. The second big storyline comes a bit later, so I'll get there when I get there. But the next few episodes, I would say they were filler, but again, they all seemed important. Maybe they were filler, but they did a really good job at seeming like they weren't. Again, the episode that Harley Quinn's not even in that centers all around Batman coming back, Batman's Batman. Because you remember at the end of Season 1, the tower fell on him, so now he wakes up from his coma. His body is broken, so he has Lucius Fox make him an Iron Man suit, and he goes out and tries to fight Bane. Come on, that is totally an Iron Man suit. Let's not kid ourselves. I know Batman has had armored suits like that before, but it's totally an Iron Man ripoff. Complete with the heads-up display with the AI. Come on. But it was a fun episode. Same thing with the next episode, the origin story episode, to which when I first saw this episode, I was like, oh my god, again with the Harley Quinn origin? I've seen this origin a million times. But this episode wasn't so much Harley and Quinzel becoming Harley Quinn, as it was the origin of the friendship between Harley and Ivy. That's really what it was centered around. Also, I like Sane Joker. I do. He's the sanest Joker I've ever seen, and he was funny. Still voiced by Alan Tudyk, and my god, that guy can voice act. I already knew that, but God, He's just so good. But the real meat of that first storyline comes into play about halfway through the season when Harley and Ivy get tossed down into Bane's pit, which again is parodying Dark Knight Rises. Bane's pit prison where a bunch of Batman's villains are, like Victor Zsasz and Killer Croc. And Ivy gives this speech that I actually thought was really good because she's opening up there. She's finally letting it all out. All her regrets and fuck-ups she's done in her life. It felt good to hear. And that starts a whole riot, and Harley and Ivy are going to escape on the chopper. It's going up. Harley's holding on to Ivy, and then Bane gets a hold of Harley. And Harley makes a sacrifice. She's like, I love you, Ivy. And then she drops. Poison Ivy saves Harley, so they both get out of there. They escape. And then they finally kiss for the first time. And I was like, yeah! Look, I'm all for Harley Ivy being a thing, I love it, but this to me was just really sudden. Like up until that point, I thought the love they shared between each other was strictly platonic, but really good, you know, like strong friendship, like Thunder Buddies for life. And then they kiss, and I was like, where did that come from? The little hints that were dropped throughout season 1 and the first half of season 2, I just didn't feel were enough. Not by this point anyway. But that's just my opinion. And now for the rest of the season, Harley Ivy is going to be a big focus of it. Because Harley Quinn was like, wow, that was great. Let's do more of that. But there is the hindrance of Poison Ivy being engaged to Kite Man. They're still getting married. Actually, Harley has to realize what she wants first. Because at first, like anyone would, she's acting really awkward about the kiss. She starts acting impulsive and she's like, fuck it, let's just go to Darkseid, get a parademon army, and take over Gotham. And that's exactly what she does, as Thor-ish, but not really, because her armor looks just like Thor. Come on! Again, I get that it's DC lore, but to me it just screams, hey, look, Thor ripoff. Maybe try not to make it look so much like that. But Harley has her parademon army, and it's Ivy who convinces her. She's like, what are you doing? Is this really what you want? You're not a terrible person, Harley. And again, it's that thing of Ivy doesn't see herself as a villain, so she tries to make Harley see her ways. Which ultimately says this show is making Harley Quinn an anti-hero. She's no longer a straight villain, she's an anti-hero. Which this is not the first time Harley's been an anti-hero. I mean, she did help save the world in Suicide Squad. That did happen. And isn't she a full-on good guy in Injustice 2? I mean, I haven't played it, but I heard. But point is, this show is not the first time Harley has turned from bad to less bad. But I like anti-hero Harley, and I'll explain why. It's because she's the main character in the show. She's the title character. It's easier to root for her as your main character if she is at least a little good. Let's face it, it's not that easy to root for a villain. I'm curious to see how the Loki show's gonna pull that off. And even in the Joker movie, you're rooting for Arthur Fleck to not become the Joker. At the end of the Joker movie, you're not like, yeah, good job, Arthur Fleck, you did it. No, you're like, oh, fuck, man, you have fallen far. So for this show, Harley Quinn, if she had just gone through with her plan and used the parademons to take over Gotham City, I would have been like, yeah, okay, well, she just did that bad thing. And now Batman's gonna stop her, probably. I would not have cared as much. It's me being honest. So to make her an anti-hero, I felt really works and helped me stay attached to the show. And that leads to the second main storyline of the season, which is Dr. Psycho. He gets pissed off because he's the full-on villain. He's like, what the fuck, Harley? You could have pulled this off, but you chose to go soft. Fuck this shit, I'm out of your crew. Now I'm gonna take over Gotham City. Alright, cool. We got a hero and a villain now. Awesome. So now that both main storylines are in play, we got the last few episodes of the season now. I love the Bachelorette Party episode. Or correction, I partially love it. The main character's story on Themyscira, because that's where they go for the Bachelorette weekend. That's what I like, because Harley and Ivy get drunk and end up sleeping together. You're like, oh, okay. Okay, let's do it. Ivy is certainly tempted, you can't deny that. But this is the episode where she ultimately decides, nah, she's not gonna go through with that. She's gonna go through with the wedding. She's gonna marry Kite Man. Because she can't trust Harley to withhold a strong romantic relationship. Which does make sense, yeah. However, the B-plot in this episode, holy shit. Yeah, the one where King Shark has to go down to his home and figure his shit out with the arranged marriage and all that. To me, and I'm sorry to say this if someone was really proud of that plot at Warner Brothers, but it was the stupidest thing I have ever seen in this show. Hands down, it wins by a landslide for stupidest thing ever in the show. They do this whole musical number that is a parody of Under the Sea from Little Mermaid, and I get it, but oh my god, it was so stupid. Like Adult Swim, Rick and Morty kind of stupid. The kind of stupid I don't like. Yeah, it's not a secret. I don't like stupid shit humor, because I don't get it. If something is stupid, that's not funny, it's just stupid. I don't see humor in stupidity. I never have. I highly doubt I ever will. But That's just me. I know Rick and Morty has a huge fan base, and I am not telling anyone that they're wrong for liking Rick and Morty. You do you. You go ahead and you love Rick and Morty. Live it up. Good for you. I'm just telling you where I'm coming from, because this is my YouTube channel where I do that. Anyway, back to Harley Quinn. Dr. Psycho is now stepping up as the main villain, and we got a few cool things that happen here. Cyborgman dies. That was sad. I liked his character. He was really funny. Or, I would say he dies, but he doesn't really die. He becomes Max Headroom, because that robotic eye he gives to Harley that ends up holding his consciousness, so they plug him into the TV, and he's Max Headroom now. He's like, I'm gonna help you stop, Dr. Psycho. I laughed at that, it was good. So many parodies in this show. And fourth wall breaks. I can't believe I haven't talked about this yet. Those two guys who were sitting on the couch in the 5th episode about Batman, they're looking for something to watch and they come across the Harley Quinn show. Oh my god, was that hilarious. And later on in the season where they bring Frank the Plant back, and he's like, I tested very well with audiences, so the writers shoehorn me back into this episode so I can catch you up on the plot. That was genius. I loved that. Do more humor like that, writers, if you renew it for a season 3, which in my opinion you totally should. But anyway, let's just get to the last couple episodes, huh? Harley saves the day by kissing Poison Ivy out of her Dr. Psycho mind control. Oh, and she brought the Joker back. I should probably mention that. Yeah, in order to stop Dr. Psycho, she realizes, yeah, I'm gonna need the Justice League back. But in order to get the Justice League back, we need that book. The only person who knows where that book is would be the Joker. But the Joker's now sane, so she takes sane Joker, throws him back in the acid, he emerges as the Joker again, and they release the Justice League, and so they defeat Dr. Psycho, so that's all over now. Bada bing, bada boom, Joker's back now, and he's no longer relevant, really. He's not. In the last couple episodes, is Joker even in the last couple episodes? I think he went back to go live that suburban life with Bethany, which, good for him, true love. Coming back as the main theme of the season to tie it all together, because the season finale is, of course, the wedding. Kite Man and Poison Ivy are getting married, but then the whole wedding is crashed by the Gotham City Police Department. Harley saves the day, and then Kite Man realizes I actually love this, because he handled it in the most realistic way possible, I think. He looks at Ivy and he's like, you know what? You don't want this wedding. You don't really love me. I can see it. You want to be with Harley. It's obvious. So you two go run off and be happy together. This sucks for me, and I'm gonna be really sad for the next few months probably. But you know what? I'm a big boy and I'll get over it eventually. I love that. He could have chosen to be selfish and be like, no, you know what? We are gonna go through with this wedding because I just love Poison Ivy and that's all that matters to me. But he didn't. He did the selfless thing and let Ivy be with Harley. Honest to God, I don't know what I would do in Kite Man's shoes in that situation. I'm being serious. I'd really have to rack my brain. And so the season ends with Harley and Ivy riding off in the car, starting their relationship together in a scene that, to me, mirrors an image from Batman the Animated Series when Harley and Ivy first started teaming up. You know, they're driving off and they're like, yeah, we're gonna do this together because we fit really well. I love it. I love how this season ended. So in conclusion, here is what I will say about Harley Quinn Season 2. I like it about as much as I liked Season 1. Maybe a little less because Season 1 was new, Season 2 was more. But I still love the shit out of Kaylee Cuoco as Harley Quinn. Lake Bell as Poison Ivy. The humor for the most part is really funny, but there is just some stupid shit in there also that I just cannot bring myself to like at all. In fact, I actually do feel like there was more stupid humor in this season than there was in season 1. So maybe that's another thing that brings this season just a little lower for me. But I still love the animation. I love all the characters. King Shark, Clayface. King Shark actually especially cracked me up this season. Ron Funches does a great job as his voice. I love it. I always love rated R comic book TV shows and movies because they just bring it up to that level, whether it's more realistic like the Joker movie or more over the top and violent like Birds of Prey. In either case, it just adds more to the dramatic effect. You feel it more, and who doesn't love feeling things? I say, yeah, renew the show for a season 3, please, because now that Harley Ivy has begun, I want to see how they function as a romantic couple. Are they just gonna fight all the time, or are they gonna get along? I don't know, but I want to see. So, Harley Quinn Season 2. Have you watched it? What do you think about it? How does it compare to Season 1? What do you think of the Harley Quinn show as a whole? Whatever you think, go ahead and leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe.